In West Palm Beach, Florida, an 18-year-old named Kelvi McCray seemed to have it all. Kelvi was talented, smart, and had a bright future ahead of her. She was a model, a student, and a businesswoman. With her dazzling smile and lively personality, everyone thought she was destined for greatness. But behind her picture-perfect life, something dark was growing, a storm that would tragically end her promising future. Kelvi was no ordinary teenager. From a young age, she stood out in everything she did. She was intelligent, athletic, and full of energy. At school, she was the kind of student everyone noticed, not just because of her beauty, but because she excelled in both academics and sports. Whether it was in the classroom, on the basketball court, or on the track, Kelvi shined brightly. By the time she graduated from high school, Kelvi's interest had expanded. She became passionate about modeling and decided to chase her dream. After receiving her diploma, Kelvi jumped into the modeling world with both feet. Her striking looks and hardworking attitude quickly set her apart from other models. Her career started taking off, and people couldn't get enough of her. Photographers and booking agents noticed her right away, and soon, she was landing gigs and building an impressive portfolio. Even though Kelvi's modeling career was gaining momentum, she knew she needed a backup plan. She didn't want to rely on just one career. So, she enrolled in Palm Beach State College to study cosmetology. Kelvi wanted to make sure she had multiple skills and options for the future. Her father was incredibly proud of her for always thinking ahead. He knew that Kelvi wasn't just a pretty face, she was smart and driven. Kelvi wasn't just thinking about her career, she was already becoming an entrepreneur. While still a student, she launched her own hairstyling business. At just 18 years old, she was already building a brand and finding clients. Her friends and family admired her ambition and maturity. She was a young woman who seemed to have it all figured out. As successful as Kelvi was, her life wasn't perfect. Behind the glamorous Instagram photos and the exciting modeling shoots, something was going very wrong. Kelvi had been in a relationship with a 19-year-old named K.H. Shaw. At first, their relationship seemed like a fairy tale. Shaw was charming, sweet, and treated Kelvi like a queen. He even took her to prom, where they looked like the perfect high school couple. Everyone who saw them together thought they were meant to be. Soon, Shaw took their relationship to the next level by proposing to Kelvi. It seemed like a dream come true for the young couple. Kelvi was overjoyed and agreed to marry him. They shared the news on social media, where their friends and family sent messages of congratulations. Everyone was thrilled for them. After getting engaged, Kelvi and Shaw moved in together. Their home was filled with memories of their relationship, and everything seemed perfect on the outside. But as time went on, cracks began to form in their seemingly perfect relationship. Shaw started showing controlling behavior. What had once seemed like affection turned into something much darker. He became possessive and started making Kelvi feel trapped. By January 2024, Kelvi realized that she couldn't stay in the relationship any longer. Shaw's behavior was getting worse, and Kelvi knew she needed to get out before it was too late. But breaking up with Shaw was not easy. She had once loved him, and they had shared so many dreams for the future. But Kelvi also knew that staying with him was dangerous. In text messages to her friends, Kelvi opened up about how difficult the breakup was. She was scared, but she knew it was the right thing to do. One of her friends replied, "You deserve to be happy and safe." Kelvi wanted to move on with her life, but Shaw wouldn't let her go that easily. Shaw refused to leave the home they shared, claiming he had nowhere else to go. His behavior became more and more threatening. He started following Kelvi everywhere, even jumping on her car windshield as she tried to drive away. The situation was spiraling out of control, and Kelvi was terrified. In a tearful video she posted on social media, Kelvi showed the damage Shaw had done to her car. She was desperate and didn't know what to do. At one point, she even posted a picture of Shaw with the chilling caption, "If something happens to me, this idiot did it." Kelvi was living in fear, but she didn't know how to make it stop. Things took a terrifying turn in March 2024. Shaw held Kelvi at gunpoint and threatened to kill her if she didn't take him back. This was the final straw for Kelvi, and she reached out to the police. They issued a warrant for Shaw's arrest on charges of aggravated assault with a firearm and domestic battery. But Shaw managed to escape the police, leading them on a high-speed chase before disappearing. Despite the police being involved, Shaw was still determined to confront Kelvi one last time. On a quiet evening, Kelvi was at home, FaceTiming with her friends, trying to enjoy a normal moment in her life. But Shaw had been lurking nearby, waiting for the right moment to strike. When someone in the house stepped outside to take out the trash, Shaw slipped inside, armed and ready to confront Kelvi. Kelvi had no idea what was about to happen. One minute, she was talking with her friends, and the next, Shaw burst into the room, gun in hand. The horror of that moment played out in real time for Kelvi's friends, who were helpless on the other end of the FaceTime call. Shaw opened fire, shooting Kelvi multiple times in the head and body. The sound of gunshots echoed through the neighborhood. Kelvi's mother, who had been busy with chores, heard the shots and rushed to the house. What she found was every parent's worst nightmare: her daughter lying motionless on the floor. Neighbors, alarmed by the gunfire, quickly called the police. But by the time paramedics arrived, it was too late. Kelvi McCray, the vibrant young woman with so much potential, was gone. The death of Kelvi McCray shocked everyone who knew her. She had been full of life, with dreams and ambitions that would never be realized. Her friends, family, and community were devastated by the senseless act of violence. How could this have happened to someone so full of promise? On March 16, 2024, a vigil was held to honor Kelvi's memory. The gathering took place at Riviera Beach Municipal Park, and the sea of purple, Kelvi's favorite color, was a testament to the impact she had made on so many people. Tearful friends and family shared stories of Kelvi's warmth, vitality, and the love she brought into their lives. Kelvi's father spoke about how much his daughter meant to him and how her loss had left a hole in his heart. Her mother, still in shock from the events, found strength in sharing her daughter's story. She talked about Kelvi's academic success, her dreams of becoming a nurse or lawyer, and her passion for cosmetology. Even though she was the smallest person in the family, Kelvi had always been fearless. The vigil was more than just a moment to mourn. It was a call to action. Speakers at the event urged the community to take a stand against domestic violence. They encouraged everyone to be vigilant and to support those who might be in similar situations. Kelvi's death should not be in vain. Her story should inspire others to protect themselves and their loved ones. Kelvi McCray's tragic death is a reminder of how dangerous controlling relationships can be. It shows us how important it is to recognize the early signs of abuse and to take action before it's too late. When Kelvi first started dating Shaw, his behavior might have seemed affectionate or loving. But as time went on, it became clear that his actions were controlling and dangerous. Kelvi's story also highlights the importance of seeking help when things go wrong. She was brave to reach out to the police, but even that wasn't enough to protect her. The system failed to stop Shaw before it was too late. This is a lesson for all of us. We need to do better to protect those who are vulnerable. Kelvi's story should serve as a powerful call to action. We need to be aware of the warning signs of abuse and be ready to help those in need. Whether it's supporting friends or family members, donating to domestic violence shelters, or raising awareness, we all have a role to play in preventing tragedies like this from happening again. Although Kelvi McCray's life was tragically cut short, her memory lives on. She was more than just a victim of violence. She was a vibrant young woman with dreams and ambitions. She touched the lives of everyone around her with her smile, her passion, and her fearless spirit. Her story should inspire us to create a world where no one has to suffer in silence. Kelvi's father summed up the feelings of her loved ones when he said, "She'll forever be in our hearts, but her legacy must extend beyond just memories. We must act to ensure that her story brings about change." Kelvi's father wasn't just speaking to their immediate family, he was speaking to everyone. He was urging the community to take what happened to his daughter as a lesson, one that could help prevent future tragedies. And Kelvi's story has, indeed, sparked conversations about the warning signs of abusive relationships and how to better protect young people from violence. One of the most important lessons from Kelvi McCray's story is the need to recognize the early warning signs of controlling and abusive relationships. At first, Shaw's behavior might have seemed sweet or protective. He was always around, wanting to be a part of Kelvi's life. But over time, what seemed like love became something much darker. Shaw became possessive, not wanting Kelvi to spend time with others. He tried to control who she saw and where she went. Controlling behavior like this is often a red flag in relationships. It's important to remember that love shouldn't feel like a trap, and no one should feel afraid of their partner. Healthy relationships are built on trust and respect, not fear or control. If someone you know is acting possessive or trying to isolate you from friends and family, it might be time to take a step back and assess the relationship. Kelvi's situation grew worse as Shaw's actions escalated from controlling behavior to outright violence. He followed her, damaged her property, and even threatened her life. These actions are serious and should never be ignored. Kelvi did the right thing by reaching out to the police, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough. This shows just how dangerous and unpredictable abusive relationships can be. Kelvi's story reminds us that we need to do more to protect people from abusive relationships. While Kelvi was brave enough to seek help, the system wasn't able to protect her in time. This raises important questions about how we can improve our responses to domestic violence. It's clear that more needs to be done to ensure that victims are safe when they reach out for help. One way to do this is by raising awareness. People need to know that domestic violence can happen to anyone, and it's not always easy to spot. Often, abusers hide their controlling behavior behind a mask of love and concern. It's only when things start to escalate that the true danger becomes clear. By educating ourselves and others about the signs of abuse, we can help prevent situations like Kelvi's from happening again. Another important step is supporting organizations that work to protect victims of domestic violence. Shelters, hotlines, and counseling services are all essential resources for people in dangerous situations. By donating time, money, or resources to these organizations, we can make sure that they have the tools they need to help those in need. Even though Kelvi McCray is no longer with us, her spirit lives on in the memories of those who knew and loved her. Her father, her mother, her friends, and her entire community continue to honor her by sharing her story and working to create a safer world for others. Kelvi's life was full of potential, and her story has become a powerful reminder of the importance of speaking out against violence. At just 18 years old, Kelvi had already achieved so much. She was a talented model, a successful student, and an entrepreneur with her own hairstyling business. She had dreams of becoming a nurse or lawyer, and she approached every challenge with determination and confidence. Her fearless spirit inspired everyone around her, and it continues to inspire us today. As we remember Kelvi, let's commit to building a world where no one has to live in fear. Let's work together to protect those who are vulnerable, to support those who need help, and to stand up against violence in all its forms. Kelvi's story is a powerful call to action, and we owe it to her to make sure that her legacy brings about positive change. The tragedy of Kelvi McCray's death has left a lasting impact on her family, friends, and community. But even in their grief, they have found strength and purpose. Kelvi's loved ones are determined to turn their pain into action, to fight for a future where stories like hers become increasingly rare. Kelvi's legacy is one of love, strength, and resilience. Her life was tragically cut short, but her memory will continue to inspire those who knew her and those who hear her story. As we reflect on Kelvi's life, let us remember her not just as a victim, but as a young woman full of dreams, potential, and love. Her story serves as a reminder that we all have a role to play in preventing domestic violence. Whether it's by educating ourselves, supporting local organizations, or simply being there for a friend in need, every action counts. Together, we can create a world where everyone is free to live without fear, just as Kelvi should have been able to do. And so, as Kelvi's family and friends continue to share her story, let's listen, learn, and act. Let's honor Kelvi's memory by working toward a brighter, safer future for all. This extended version of the story offers a detailed narrative that is accessible to a 7th grade audience, while also being informative and emotional. It emphasizes the importance of recognizing warning signs, taking action, and honoring Kelvi's legacy.